everyone, good day. So this is Carol Jane Yamoway, and together with my partner Danica and Vista from English to Be, we are going to discuss understanding sexual harassment. So what is sexual harassment? So sexual harassment is a form of sex discrimination that violates Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So it is defined as unwelcome sexual behaviors, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature that are offensive, humiliating, or sometimes intimidating. When we talk about sexual harassment, it refers to an unwanted action or a behavior that could offend, humiliate, or intimidate someone. So example of this unwanted action is when a person touches some private parts of your body, such as your genitalia, for example. So it is considered as sexual harassment. So another one is when someone sends you a rude material or an image, just like for example, an image of their body parts or porn videos that can offend you. So it is considered sexual harassment. So in short, sexual harassment is an action that is not appropriate. So it is considered illegal for it violates the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So next, sexual harassment can happen to anyone, and both men and women can be the victims of these illegal actions. So it can be in written, verbal, or physical, and even through online websites. So it can also occur in variety of circumstances, even in school, in our homes, workplace, in streets, and even in malls. So there is no one excuse in this case. So even if you're a children, adults, teenagers could experience this kind of cases. And both men and women can be the victims of these illegal actions. So according to study or research, most sexual harassment cases happen and occur in the workplace and even in school and in the streets, wherein you could meet different kinds of people interacting and present in that area. So you have to be very careful, most especially to those strangers, for you to avoid this kind of actions. So we have here different or the list of sexual harassment. So a sexual harassment can include someone who is touching your private or the private parts of your body, such as your genitalia, buttocks, or your breast. Next, requesting for sexual favor in exchange for employment, promotion, a passing grade, granting of honors, a scholarship, or allowance. So it is commonly happen in a workplace or in a school, wherein those superior people could tempt to harass you in return for the promotion or for you to grant a passing grade. So next, surreptitiously looking or stealing a look at a person's private part or wound undergarments. So it is commonly happened in the streets, wherein there are some people who are tend to steal a look at a person, such as wearing sexy tops or shorts or even smaller skirts. So next, touching, rubbing, or making other physical contact with you without your consent. Displaying rude and offensive material so that you or others can see it. Next, making sexual gestures or suggestive body movements towards you. So, cracking sexual jokes and comments around or to you, questioning you about your sexual life, insulting you with sexual comments, committing a criminal offense against you, such as making an obscene phone call, indecently exposing themselves or sexually assaulting you. So next, sexual harassment is a broad term, and it is sometimes related to the term sexual assault, which usually refers to the acts that are criminal. And some forms of sexual assault includes the penetration of the victim's body, which is also known as rape, attempted rape, forcing a victim to perform sexual acts, such as oral sex or penetration of the perpetrator's body, and lastly, the fondling or unwanted sexual touching. So, sexual harassment are interrelated with the word sexual assault, but sexual assault is just the result of the sexual harassment, and it has a bigger consequence. So, most common type or example of sexual assault is what we call the rape or the attempted rape. Next, so we have here the 4 types of sexual harassment. So we have the verbal or the written, the physical or the non-verbal, and the visual. So first, verbal or written. So verbal or written sexual harassment is probably the most obvious or common sexual harassment cases, wherein the one you came across most often. So, some instances include sending emails with offensive jokes or graphics about sex or even about race or religion. Next is making derogatory comments about someone's body parts, and lastly, repeatedly requesting dates or sexual favors in person or even through text. So, example of the verbal or written type of sexual harassment is in the form of or through the use of the technology. So, if one employee forwards an email with a pornographic image, it can circulate to the point wherein everyone in the office can see it. And you, as a person who are there in that image circulating in your office, will be offended to that. So, even though that it's not what the original sender was intending, but still, it is considered sexual harassment. So we have the physical. So, the physical sexual harassment, wherein a person tend to harass you physically. So, the most common and basic type of this sexual harassment is when someone lend hand gestures or other gestures that could meant or convey curse words. So next we have the non-verbal type of sexual harassment. This is when he tend to whistle. So it is also considered sexual harassment. And lastly, we have the visual type of sexual harassment. So, from the 4 types, it is considered or probably the hardest to spot because it is the most subjective. So, the visual type of sexual harassment, for example, it includes wearing clothing with offensive or vulgar languages. So we could see even in malls or in streets, some people are wearing those shirts or clothing that have a vulgar languages printed on their shirts. Just like, for example, those shirts that have a printed of the private parts of a person's body. So next is displaying posters or pictures of a sexual nature. So if, for example, in a workplace, so if one of your coworker posted pictures or poster in the office that is okay to him, but it could offend someone. So next, so we have here different pictures through which a person tend to have an action that is considered as unwanted and illegal action. So first, we have here a picture wherein the two men are trying to whistle and to say hi sexy to a woman walking in the street. So next we have there a man who are touching the arms of the girl in their workplace. So another one here we have a man who have a poster on his office. So just like for example, if someone would go to his office, such as for example if it is a girl, then she might feel offended to that kind of poster, most especially if that poster is if she is the person in the poster. So it is considered sexual harassment. Next subtopics will be discussed by my co-partner Danica. So thank you everyone.